Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Welcome to the Screening Room podcast, where we talk all things movie and TV. This is your host, Mike, joined by my co host, Evan.
What's up, everyone? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And today we're talking about the Disney Channel movie Luck of the Irish. All right. And for today, this is going to be a shorter video. So it's just going to be our initial thoughts on the movie and then our rating at the very end.
Yeah, for context, we're recording this. It's currently 10:17 p.m., so we're gonna try to get this uploaded by midnight. So if this says it's posted the day after, it's because we didn't get it edited in time, but we should be good. I'm hoping so. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to keep it pretty short. Honestly, we were talking before we hit record. There's not even like any trivia behind this movie, if you can even call it that.
Yeah, it was tough to find stuff
Oh,
just because it's a limited release. That's all.
right. So that kind of like eliminates a third of what we usually do on our show. So yeah, this is probably going to be sub 10 minutes, I would guess, but we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But with that said, I'll let Mike kick it off with his initial thoughts on the film, seeing as it was his idea to watch this. Actually, why don't you explain why you chose it specifically? Because I think that's an interesting story.
Well, other than for the fact that today is St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to choose this movie because, according to Ryan Coogler himself on like a press tour for Sinners, this is one of the main movies that inspired him to make Sinners. And while watching the film, it kind of seemed like a complete 180 from the movie, obviously, but you can kind of see the undertones that he was trying to like get at when he mentioned that this movie had inspired Sinners. Obviously, it's a very different type of movie for a very different type of audience, but overall, I thought the film was thought it was entertaining. You know, it did its job. It's definitely one of the better Disney Channel movies I've seen. Not that I've seen a lot, but overall, I don't have anything else to say on it. It was an okay movie, but I thought it was enjoyable.
I would say if you put 100 DVDs in front of me, like, and you told me that one of those movies was a source of inspiration for Sinners, the R-rated vampire movie, Luck of the Irish would have been the 100th movie I would have guessed was a source of
And here,
inspiration.
yeah,
Um, I can kind of see it now that I've actually sat through all the longest 80 minutes of my life. Um that's the other thing. This is like it's not even an hour and a half. It's literally 120 minutes. Or 120 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. Um but because it was made I'm assuming it was just aired on you said it was aired on Disney Channel
it was made
originally.
for Disney Channel and then
Yeah,
sold afterwards.
right.
Like so, it this didn't even get like a theatrical release date.
So I guess there is a charm in that aspect where it's it's a digestible movie. I'd say it's appropriate for just about anyone. I didn't catch what it was rated, but I mean, there's nothing in there. You can definitely tell it doesn't have the same production value as like a, another Disney movie from that era, like Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. Like there's a
Yeah,
night and day difference between those two movies. Um, the effects are jarring to say the least. Like it
you
looks
can
like the
tell
time
that
of
the budget wasn't there for that.
yeah, it looks like the kind of thing I would expect from like a middle school film class. In terms of like the very obvious like green screen and like comping in, like specifically like I'm referring to the in the movie the main character's mother is a leprechaun and probably about like what halfway through the movie she like shrinks down to like I think he said a foot tall. Um,
Oh yeah, right.
yeah, like she was very. The effects behind that were awful. Part of
Yeah,
that is because it was 2001, but also there was just zero budget. Um, so like even comparing it to like like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I forget what year that movie came out, but
It's
definitely
definitely pre 2000s.
yeah, yeah, definitely predates this movie. Um I think that's more of a fair comparison though in terms of like that specific effect. But anyway, yeah, I felt the movie itself, it reminded me of this, and this is like a crazy reference. If any of you understand the movie I'm talking about, props to you, and also I'm sorry that you had to suffer through it like I did. It reminded me of this Netflix movie. I don't know if it's on there anymore, but Netflix movie I watched like 10 years ago, maybe, called Food Boy. Just in terms of it was just a cursed. It was cursed. It was a cursed like made for video movie. This was the exact same vibe. That was the exact same vibe I got from this movie. And maybe I'm just too used to like the finer things in cinema. You know, like the 2001s, the Godfathers, the whatever the but yeah,
Yeah,
this was
if
just
that's the kind of quality you're expecting in this movie, you're not going to find it.
well, and like that's the like I went into this expecting like we recently watched for context, we recently watched oh what was it called? The Quest for the Holy Grail, Monty Python. Yeah, that was it.
Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail. Yeah.
Yeah, we recently watched that one in person actually, and like I was expecting something kind of along the lines of that because I actually did mildly enjoy that movie. I was expecting something of that nature, but like it wasn't even this movie, The Luck of the Irish. It wasn't even like funny the same way Monty Python was, at least to me. And I felt like everyone was like overacting, and obviously like they couldn't get any real actors for something like with this production value, but it just I don't know. It was just cursed, but I'm kind of rambling, so I'll let you give more of your thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, obviously, like we were saying, it's not of the same caliber as like official theatrical films, but like I said, I did enjoy it. It had a fun message at the end, about the importance of, embracing your family heritage, and learning how to play as a team, and what it means to be a family in that sense. I thought that was a fun message to share. Again, this is not meant to be anything like The Godfather, but I just thought this was a fun, wacky kids movie we could watch for St. Patrick's Day, and to see the inspiration for a now Oscar-winning film that just came out.
Yeah, what did it win? It won cinematography, which I made a shit ton of money on Kalshi for betting on, by the way. I'm still very proud of myself for that. At very low odds, but I pulled through. I believed in that movie. But yeah, no, it won cinematography, screenplay, actor.
Best actor
Is that it? Oh, score. Um,
and score, yes.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I think it should have won Best Picture. I think it got robbed. In the
Yeah,
battle. Anyway, I'm
me
getting
too.
off on a tangent. But yeah, no, that was really the main reason I agreed to do this because I was just kind of curious to see what Ryan Coogler was thinking. Um, but I mean, it makes sense, but it's just it feels like a weird combination of mixing, and I'm by no means an expert on Irish history. I'm not claiming that at all. I'm just saying it seems weird to incorporate this story about Irish history as well as kind of like you said, just in general, like family heritage. Um, and then just having the final showdown be a basketball game where a leprechaun's literally just sitting on a basketball hoop for some reason, and I don't like it.
I
Just
will say it was a bit jarring to see a leprechaun play basketball.
I'm
Um,
like, why
but
is
I
this what we're doing? Like, actually the game that they played before that I thought made more sense because it was like an actual like at least
traditional Irish games, yeah.
yeah, like that made more sense to me. It was like okay, like I can get behind that because at least it's like following the same like culture that we've been learning about for the last like hour at that point of the runtime. But no, it just concludes with basketball, and I'm like, oh, okay, like sure. It felt very weird. Um, and I felt like would we call it a love interest that the main character had with the girl who was like in charge of the all the committees? Did they have like a thing going on?
I'm not really sure. I think it was meant to be more of like a friendship. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest.
Yeah, maybe I'm reading too into that, but I don't know. I felt like even just their even if it is just a friendship, I felt that whole like dynamic felt a bit forced. I'm like, I've been to high school. There's no way these two people like. Well, there's no way that kid would have. I get that he's like lucky and he has his like emblem on,
His
which
lucky charm.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
get that's the whole thing, but like there's like that kid cannot play basketball. I'm sorry, and I'm saying that as also someone who is not like the most athletically built person in the world. Um, it just I'm like I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. And I understand that it's kind of the point. Like he's supposed to be kind of like an unassuming person. And like he's lucky because of his like charm thing. I understand that. It's just I didn't really buy that, and I'm like, even if you look past that and like okay, he's just a jock who at that stage in the movie only really cares about playing basketball. Like why would he have it? Why would he be on a first name basis in the first place with some random girl who like runs a million committees? Like I don't know. I just didn't buy it, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know. It's just again, I'm kind of ranting, but I'll just kind of conclude with my final thoughts. I gave it like a 1 out of 5 because I just have no desire to rewatch it. Um, and I don't know. It was interesting again seeing it from their perspective of okay, it was inspiration for like you said, a now multi-Oscar winning movie that got snubbed for Best Picture. But it was interesting from that perspective. But I think if Sinners didn't exist, like this movie wouldn't really have anything at all going for it, at least for me personally. So that's why I gave it that review. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah. And for me, yeah, well, for me, I think I went a little easier on the review process and the rating. Um, just taking into account the type of movie that it is, it's basically just a made-for-TV Disney film, and the fact that it didn't really have like any box office or wasn't meant to be shown in like a theatrical format. I gave it a 3 out of 5 for a Disney movie. It is no means a 3 out of 5 like movie by theatrical standards. But overall, I think it's a fun, nice, fun family film to watch on St. Patrick's Day. But if we are going to go with theatrical, I'll give it a 1.5. So if you're cool with it, does a 1 star review work?
I'd even allow a 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
because I
right.
know you were higher on it than I am, so I'm cool giving it a 1.5. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So our official review of Luck of the Irish is going to be a 1.5.
I forget, is that lower than what we gave Friday the 13th Part 2? What did we give that movie? Was that a 2?
I believe that was a 2.5.
So this is
I will
lower, I
say though,
think.
this is lower, but I'm going to put an asterisk on this because I did grade mine differently since it is a like a made to video Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess we'll still consider Friday the Friday. Oh man, I cannot talk. I've had, for context, I have like 12 hours straight of classes today. It was rough. Friday the 13th Part 2 was our still kind of our lowest like official like rated screening room podcast like movie.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think you made a good point. Yeah. Like I don't know, if you're like if you're if you have like a younger member of your family, like I'd say 10 or below, um yeah, it might be worth throwing on, but for any other reason, I'd say you can skip it without feeling a shred of remorse. That's my take.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Thank you for joining us this week. You can look forward to getting our later review on Project Hail Mary, our spoilers edition.
yeah,
Um,
so if you guys are watching on YouTube, you may have seen that I posted I think it was like 3-ish minute solo review. I got to go to an early IMAX screening on Monday night. And I think Mike is planning on watching it this weekend. So we'll try to get that out. I know we usually upload a podcast on Friday. I kind of figured because we're uploading a sort of mini episode on Tuesday. We might aim for like, depending on when he gets around to watching it, maybe Friday night, if not like sometime on Saturday or Sunday this weekend. So you can look forward to that. And that'll be my video, the one that is already up on YouTube. That's completely spoiler free, so you can watch that right now. Because as we're recording this, that movie is still not officially out yet. Or even if you're watching this later, that's full spoiler free. But the upcoming podcast that we're gonna do, it's gonna be a full in depth discussion. Is gonna be talking about spoilers. So just be warned for that. But I will say it's a great movie, and I think we're gonna have a good conversation about that. So definitely stay tuned for that.
all right. Thank you guys for joining us. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and we will see you on the next review.
Thank you all for watching.